Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I thought that maybe the very first jobs that I was going to get was going to be shoveling snow. It said on a weather report that that about 10 to 14 inches here, here in Missouri area, Boone County. But you're talking about yeah, would you rather see bills or would you rather see snow? But really, that in case of likely may warrant to where if that's really a choice of the matter, to where that you're like looking at snow and like just looking at it to where it's coming down. But really though, that whenever it snows though, I mean that's the type of stuff that we don't see all the time. Here in Missouri though, that around this time of the year that you're going to see, especially for winter time, around winter time. But still though, that talking about with the snow though, that with snow that sometimes you wonder that how come that's not on anything which call for insurance, insurance coverage or something like that, maybe for traveling, for or something like that. But still though, I thought the very first jobs that I was going to have was going to be shoveling snow, and turns out it wasn't. Back when I was young, it was actually working fast food. So whenever I think about snow, I also keep thinking too, just a little bit about that too. Where back when I was young, that I thought maybe a snow shovel was going to keep me pretty busy there for a while. But now it's like yeah, a camera keeps me busy too. But still though, that looking at the snow right here, that I know it's not even 5 o'clock, and you're likely wondering too that if it's not even 5 o'clock, that it's about how much is already on the ground, like far as snow goes, and it looks like I'd say up to 3 to 4 inches is already on the ground right here in Columbia. But so it's like, say, yeah, that really, would you rather be looking at bills, or would you rather be looking at the snow? And one or two that, yeah, well, whenever you look at snow, that what you're really seeing is that about how much snow's coming, about that maybe that humidity accumulation also. But still though, that really, would looking at a weather radar be a little bit more exciting? Half the time, if we want to ask that question to her, that whenever you look at the weather radar, at least you're able to look at the maps and maybe the temperature, and then maybe the areas that are highlighted with the sleet and snow, and maybe the certain locations, and besides the highways or so. But whenever you're going to be looking at maybe from the east side or the south side, that maybe you don't really see all the details from what the weather radar says. But I'll tell you one thing though, that a lot of that stuff that we have access to even on our mobile devices, that it seems like not everything is the same as from whenever you look out your window, or whenever you walk out your front door. It seems like that yeah, the weather radar is going to mention about what's going on in the sky for what's on the weather forecast, but still that's usually updated within about 8 hours or so ahead of time. So let's just say that if it's not the same thing as what you're seeing through the window or at the front door or wherever that you're looking at the weather from. But still though, that I know that wondering too that if you're going to be wondering that you look at the snow, and just like wondering that too, that if you were to be doing any sorts of homework, let's just say the snow that kind of came up just right at the last minute, about 2 days, and maybe a few of your plans were either rescheduled or canceled, or if anything that you decide just to delay the plans, just just be for the weather, because of the weather conditions. But according to what they say, is that about the weather though, that they could expect up to maybe the 4 to 8 to maybe up to 10 to 14 inches by late tonight on to Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon be on the weather alert. But still though, that for January though, that 1 and 2, that yeah, how do we want to answer that question to her? That with Valentine's Day coming up, that how are you going to be able to spend time with a loved one? That especially if it's going to be snowing, and we know that snow is not just what you call this magical type power, but the powder it is. But well, the way that we want to look at snow, though, you know, if you certain states it's real beautiful to look at, especially around Christmas time, and so that's just a thing, though, that it's snow wonderland. But still, though, that one of the first jobs that I thought I was going to get was going to be shoveling snow. But it's like, say, yeah, you know, really, though, that especially if it's going to be cold outside, and you sometimes somebody doesn't want to go ahead and if they're going to put on a coat, and maybe if it's going to maybe be about maybe a 30 degrees difference every time you go outside and shovel the snow. But I don't have a sled or nothing, but still, though, that just to you know, you have a lot of your plans that were canceled due to the weather, you know, due to the snow. And I want to know too that you know, yeah, if anything, can go out and go outside and maybe you know, it's like to say, yeah, anybody who needs assistance while they're on the road, or like I say, if they're going to be out, you know, sledding. But compared to maybe like a state of Alaska or maybe Utah or somewhere where they get quite a lot more snow, but you know, back when I was young, that I thought that maybe this was going to be one of my first jobs, broadcasting maybe the weather reports, or maybe taking photographs of the weather and telling everybody that best advice before you begin your journey on the road is please to stay caution. And but still, though, that the types of jobs that you could be doing whenever it's snowing like this, and in case of something like we weren't toward it, then maybe some good advice would be is toward that they kind of think about the snow, though. It's really hard to do a lot of things when it's snowing. But still, though, that looking at the snow right here, that if we can actually see that there's also, you know, shoveling snow, and then also that if I say if you take photographs of the snow, then there's different ways of, you know, it's like, you know, yeah, whenever you look at snow, you know, that's usually around the holidays, especially around the holidays. You know, if it's a holiday, then really you don't really have no problem with them. I say, yeah, when people look at snow, are they necessarily thinking that it's supposed to be what you call, what is it, that, you know, that a lot of you know, just like the stay-at-home day, or if anything, if you have to get out in it, you know, for any reason at all. But still, you have right here is the snow right here, and I'll show everybody here that you have right here is with the snow. But for anything related to any sorts of photography, that if you're going to be taking any pictures of the snow, and let's just say if it is certain areas where there's a lot of wooded areas, or, you know, maybe wildlife or something like that. And a lot of times snow is going to be nice to look at, and especially the trees. You see right there's the trees that, especially around the springtime, that whenever they're going to be sprouting and blooming. But I tell you one thing, everybody, that you one or two, that what type of job do you think that you would be able to get whenever you're at a young age? And I kept thinking too that, yeah, for any job that's going to maybe be paying you, but still, you know, newspapers, and I kept thinking that too, yeah, that the daily headlines, if you want to work for maybe for a publishing company, I kept thinking too that, you know, back when I was young, I thought I was shoveling snow, but it was working in fast food. But let's just say, if I were to be working for like a publishing company, and I maybe take the photographs and then talk about them, and you know, a little bit more about that, about what's so exciting about looking at a tree covered with snow. Well, I guess that's a way of how you want to say it. Is that about maybe if it's yeah, that what does the snow on the trees basically tell you? That you know, stuff that's going, like, yeah, if you're going to be using that photograph just to show about how the weather is doing, maybe to study a little bit about the tree, and then you know, other things that you can maybe be thinking about that you do for the particular science. But the way I think about it too, looking at the tree right here, that a lot of it looks real white, and you would think that yeah, you know, after Christmas, what do you want to call this type of day, to where if it's going to be snowing, all those trees right there are all white, and the trees in the backyards too, you know, quite a bit of them are white, and you one or two that if you want to call this day like on the Friday, January the 11th, if you want to kind of call it, the white, like, for anything, if it is, other than maybe if inauguration day, or if it's going to be the President's State of the Union address or anything like that. But you're likely wondering too that Mr. President, about the jobs though, the jobs that, the type of jobs that, even if you were working a construction job, or maybe you had to do freelancer work, that you wondered how can you really do the jobs that, if they require you to travel, or if anything that, if you really can't go much anywhere, if it's snowing. But it seems like that the best, if you have internet connection, but still, there's something about the snow, for depending on where you are, despite about where you are, there's something about the snow that makes it real exciting to look at. Not just because of what it's doing, but for what you see. And if we can see this right here, that I can go ahead and open the door right here. But still, for what we see right here, and for what we see, a lot of it is like for what the snow is doing. And, if I say, this was related to for a science project or something like that, like writing in a journal, that exactly about what you think that you'll be writing about the snow. And thinking too, here's the snow. Yeah, the snow's coming down pretty thick, ain't it? And hear the sound of the geese at this lake. Still, they have here's the snow right here, so yep, they're calling for about up to 10 to 14 inches by tonight. And so I say that, I say, you get the snow right there.